When I think back to my original experience entering into the juvenile detention center, I think the part that really got me is that I walked in alone. I visited my son, and when I see him, we lock eyes. And he started crying. And I think to myself, whoa, what did I just do? I often tell people that I walked into the detention center without a clear idea as to where it was located. One, I didn't even know that there was one in the city. Two, I didn't know the address, so I literally had to plug it into my GPS to get there. And then when I got there, I noticed that it was in a neighborhood. So I was like, well, this is interesting. It's locked down. I have to go through a metal detector to get through to see my son in the visitation space where we were doing the preliminary hearing. So I go through all this process, and all the while I still wasn't really quite sure what I was doing. I was just kind of in the motions. And, you know, being a father and a parent, you try to act like you know it, you at least have it all together. Because again, the original idea was just to get him to recognize that he needed to change his behavior. But I didn't know that enter into this space that things were ultimately going to change. Again, I'm like, dang it, what did I just do? And we're now talking to a judge, and what's the judge gonna say, and what is this about, and am I gonna get in trouble? You know, so I had all these questions starting to formulate in my mind that really wasn't a part of my thinking process when I initially contacted the authorities, because I was in that space, I was feeling in crisis mode, I was reacting. And so that set with me, because I was like, again, the question was like, man, who else is going through this? What if this was your son? You know, could you imagine this being a child of yours that you love, that you have poured into, that you've given everything to? You ultimately make a choice that now at this point you can't control the outcome. Imagine that, not having any control over any say about what happens to your children. You don't provide shelter for them anymore. You don't feed them. There are other young people that, in my mind, have committed crimes. I didn't know who these kids were. I'm frightened that will my son get hurt in this place? There's nobody coming out and sitting with me and really processing this with me. So imagine all of that from a call that you made, thinking that you were gonna solve an issue, and ultimately led to everything being removed completely from you, and now you're sitting in front of a judge that you don't know, and ultimately they're gonna make a decision that could impact the rest of your life. What would you do?